Gymnasium for the final match of our men's volleyball tri-match today. This match will feature the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin, Wallace University versus the Cougars of Concordia University, Chicago. And let's meet the starters. First, for our visitors from Ohio, the Yellow Jackets. The libero is freshman number 20, Aiden Kim. Junior outside hitter number 1, Michael Beard. Junior setter number 4, Brandon Waugh. Sophomore right side hitter number 10, Michael Devlin. Junior outside hitter number 11, Nick Reelman. Freshman middle hitter number 12, Colby Whiteside. And freshman middle hitter number 13, Josh Steinitz. Assistant coaches are Declan Pierce, Jason Denorovich, Dan Martin, and Greg Herseg. And the head coach of the Yellow Jackets is Kyle Mars. And now, here are the starters for the Concordia Chicago Cougars. The libero is junior number 1, Blake Rosen. Senior middle blocker number 3, Colby Campbell. Senior outside hitter number 4, Luke Vozenelik. Junior outside hitter number 7, David Vale. Senior opposite side hitter number 9, Tyler Hollabeck. Freshman center number 11, Eli Mosher. And freshman middle blocker number 18, Andre Muller. Assistant coach is Peter Dabrowski. And the head coach of the Cougars is Greg Manos.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the conclusion of the Maroon and Gold Triangular here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago. Peter Borkowski on the call with you as your Concordia University Chicago Cougars get set to take on the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace. Before we get into these two teams and the matchup, let's look at the starting lineups one more time for the folks at home. First, for the visiting Baldwin Wallace University, the libero is number 20, Aiden Kim. The following lineup is then number 1, Michael Beard, number 4, Brandon Long, number 10, Michael Devlin, number 11, Nick Reelman, number 12, Colby Whiteside, and number 13, Josh Steinitz. Now the starting lineup for your Concordia University Chicago Cougars at libero, it's the junior number 1, Blake Rosen. And then the following 6 are number 3, Colby Campbell, number 4, Luke Vozenelik, number 7, David Vales, number 9, Tyler Hollabeck, number 11, the freshman setter, Eli Mosher, and number 18, Andre Muller. Well, both these teams have one game under their belt as of now today. Cougars, they took on Augustana College earlier in the day as we are off here in the third game. Colby Campbell goes for the quick kill, gets blocked up front. Now Tyler Hollabeck, that's off the head of number 12 and right. That's Colby Whiteside, so Cougars strike first. Cougars won that opening match against Augustana 3-2. That was a 2:30 start time. So a 5-set thriller against the Vikings of Augustana. Meanwhile, Baldwin Wallace, on the other hand, played Augustana, finished that match not too long ago. We pull those game stats up. Baldwin Wallace ties things up at 1 apiece. The final from that Augustana game was a 3-2 win in favor of the Vikings. So Baldwin Wallace looking to split today's two games. Meanwhile, the Cougars looking to walk away with a 2-0 record on the day. Meanwhile, they take a 2-1 lead here against the Yellow Jackets. Luke Vozenelik back to serve. A little too strong as that one goes out of bounds. We're tied up again at 2. This is not the first time the Cougars and Yellow Jackets have met up this season. Back on February 4th in Beera, Ohio, these two teams took each other on. That was part of the Baldwin-Wallace triangular. The Yellow Jackets took that one 3-2 against the Cougars. Some of the leaders from that game, Michael Beard, the hot shot for the Yellow Jackets, 29 kills. He currently ranks first in the MCVL and ranks second, in kills per set at a mark of 368. Meanwhile, Vozenelik led the Cougars in kills, as he usually does, with 21. Eli Mosher had 36 helpers on that one, and then Brandon Long had 51. Long, the junior setter out of Metea Valley, Illinois. That serve hits the top of the net. Baldwin Wallace has built a quick 2-point lead here. And that block goes out of bounds before Cougar touches it, so point goes to CUC. Campbell, serve. Dug there, and going for the kill was Michael Devlin, the sophomore right side hitter. Devlin goes back to serve now. His team back up by a pair. Dug there by Rosen, junior for the Cougars. Hollabeck goes for the kill, and he's going to get it. It got tipped up front by the combo of Reelman and Steinitz, and then the back row wasn't able to get a good enough angle on it. Here's Paul. So Baldwin Wallace, they now sit 16-4 on the season after last match's loss to the Vikings. Bales plays that one off his forearms, and a bit of a misplay there from Hollabeck. So he's trying to avoid the stands, puts the Vikings up by 2 once again. Before that loss to Augustana, the Yellow Jackets on a 4-game win streak they were. They won those 4 games, a combined 12-0. And again, before that Augustana match, in their last 10 games, Baldwin Wallace 9-1, only suffering a 3-2 defeat against Lancaster Bible on the 18th of February. That back row attempt from Hollabeck goes into the net. And those 5 previous wins for Baldwin Wallace, they only lost a combined 3 sets. So an extremely talented team coming from Ohio to Geisman as they look to go 2-0 against the Cougars on the season. Though Luke Vozenelik's going to have a little something to say about that. Vozenelik built a very prolific career during his 4 seasons here at CUC. Former All-American, a permanent resident in the NAC All-First team. And this season he looks like he's heading back there, leading the conference in kills per set as well as points per set. As Mosher's going to set up number 4, Maroon. Good block up front to allow a play in the back. And now that attempt from Beard goes nowhere, so Vozenelik's going to go for the floater. Great dig there from Aiden Kim. We're still alive here as now Veos hits the top of the net. Kim again. He's diving all over the place. And now Hollabeck, Kim one more time, plays off the roof. And then a great recovery by Reelman. And one more time, Vozenelik. It's going to hit the net and go out. So Baldwin Wallace earns himself a point in a marathon of a volley. Great defense on display from the visiting Yellow Jackets. They're allowing just 8.6 kills per set as opposed to the 12.41 they score. As there is now point number 8 for CUC. Eli Mosher back to serve now. The freshman for CUC getting the job done in the setter position. Third in the conference in assists at a mark of 8.5 per set. And Colby Campbell right up front. Another conference leader for the Cougars. Second in blocks per set, just over 1. Campbell set the all-time the single season record last year for assisted blocks as well as total blocks. Last year was his first season as a Cougar additionally, so in just 1+ season in the maroon and gold, Campbell's already carved himself out a place in history in the record books. Is now Baldwin Wallace tried to build upon their 1-point lead. However, the service error leads us to a knotted up game, 10-10 now. Now a match, it's now a 1-15 set. As Vozenelik, his serve. A little bit of a odd set there from Whiteside. He's going to get a violation called on him as well. The 6'4" freshman. Mosher now gives it up to Hollbeck, who finishes off the play. Valiant effort from Brandon Long to get under it. Just couldn't get there in time. Hollbeck, he's right up there with his teammate Vozenelik in terms of stats this season offensively. Vozenelik's first in kills per set. Hollbeck's right behind him at second at a mark of 3.7. Meanwhile, Vozenelik first in points, second is Hollbeck at 4.4 a set. So Vozenelik and a Hollbeck form one of the more dangerous duos in the NAC. And a misplay there by Vozenelik leads us to a 12-12 game. Now it'll be up to Colby Whiteside to get play started here. We're hitting the midway point of set 1. Service error gives the Cougars the lead. Colby Campbell back to serve now. Good serve there. Now strong attempt there by Devlin. Vozenelik got some hands on it, but really couldn't do much about it. Despite his offensive prowess and that really being what people know him for, Vozenelik's turned into an extremely well-rounded defender as well. He's top 10 in the conference in blocks per set, just under 0.8. Meanwhile, he is some of the most digs on the team at 96. That's good enough for 4th place amongst the Cougars, only trailing Blake Rosen, Tyler Hollbeck, and Eli Mosher. Yellow Jackets point ties us up again at 14. Yellow Jackets coached by Jason Donarovich, Dan Martin, and Greg Herseg. Student assistants are Nicole Logan and Hannah Dick. The graduate assistant for the Yellow Jackets is Declan Pierce, and then in his third season is head coach Kyle Mars. This is his team trying to build upon their single-point lead over the Cougars. A little sneak attack there from Mosher pays off. Now they're tied up at 15. It's a 1-10 now. Well, Cougars assistant coach Peter Dabrowski serving under first season head coach Greg Manos. A great dig there. Blake Rosen keeps it alive with the pancake. Oh, not long enough. Josh Steinitz gets set up perfectly and knocks it down. And he earns a couple. He's a freshman chance from his bench as he goes back to serve now. 6'4" freshman, middle hitter from Towson, Maryland. Friends School of Baltimore alum. Tied up at 16 now. The last time a team had a multi-point lead was when the Cougars led 12-10 as that attempt hits one of the officials' foot. The top left of your screen. The Cougars retake the lead now, 17-16. First time Cougars have scored back-to-back points since that previously mentioned 12-10 lead, and Baldwin Wallace is going to make sure it's not back-to-back-to-back as they tie it up again, 17 points apiece. Brandon Long to serve now. Long leading the MCVL in assists per game, assists per set, excuse me, with 10.09. The Yellow Jackets earned a hard point. The Hinckley native. The serve once more. Zenelik serves up. Mosher serves up. Hollaback. That it goes nowhere. Now Mosher's going to try and give it to his other hitter in Vozenelik. Back on the attack. Blocked up front. Mosher and Campbell. It's out of play. The Cougars even the score up now. 18 points apiece. Mosher, Hollaback, good solo block from Devlin. And now that blocked up front, getting a hand on it was Reelman. He was too far behind the ball though. Mosher, his serve is up and over. And too much sauce on that one from Colby Whiteside. And now that's going to force a timeout from Kyle Mars and the Yellow Jackets. Cougars, they're 5 points away from claiming set one. Score 20-18 here in Geisman. We're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back with you in just a sec. Back here in Geisman Gymnasium on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago. The Cougars currently up on the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, 20-19. Wednesday night here in River Forest. It's spring break at CUC, so most of the students enjoying their time off back home on vacation. And for the couple of kids still hanging all around on campus or near campus, had some good volleyball all day to be entertained by as that attempt goes out of bounds. Point CUC. Cougars defeated Augustana in the first match of today's maroon and gold triangular. 3-2, 5-set thriller. And then we had another 5-setter not too long ago with Augustana taking down Baldwin Wallace 3-2. So already 10 sets of volleyball play today, and we'll see what this third match brings. So timeout called by Greg Manos and the Cougars, but while they take their time to gather thoughts, we're going to stay up here, talk a little bit about the man who just called the timeout, Coach Manos, first season at the helm here at CUC, coming from Division I program, Miami, Ohio, and already finding great success with the Cougars, 8-7 overall, a 2-1 conference record. But then one of those conference records is really the highlight of the season and one of the biggest wins CUC's gotten in program history, which was a 3-0 sweep of Dominican back on February 28th. Dominican hadn't lost a conference match in the previous 2 years and won 3 of the previous 4 NAC championships. Always consistently, ranked as a top 5, top 10 program in the nation. So that 3-0 sweep of Dominican just over a week ago has proven to be really the highlight of the season so far, and kind of a sign that Coach Manos isn't here to play around. He's got business to get down to with this team, even in his first year as head coach. And on top of that, this team's playing incredibly well as of recent play. In their past 7 matches, they've only lost 1 as a 3-1 loss against Californian Lutheran University back on Saturday. And since this streak has started, they've taken down Roosevelt, Wabash, Dominican, Trinity Christian College, and Wabash College again, and then Augustana today. So another timeout called by Baldwin Wallace. We're going to take a break here as well. Cougars are up 23-19 against the Yellow Jackets. Come back to find out if they can claim set 1 in just a second. About 20 seconds remain in the timeout called by the Yellow Jackets. They find themselves trailing the Cougars by 4 late in set 1. Cougars need just 2 points to claim the set, take a 1-0 lead over the Yellow Jackets in the match. Meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets extremely hot coming in today, as I previously mentioned. Winners of 4 straight, 9 of the past 10. Then suffered a loss against Augustana in their first match of the day. And now CUC is looking to send the Yellow Jackets home 0-2 on the day, and they're 1 point from the first step of that, which is claiming set 1. And now Luke Vozenelik now. Serve is up and out. So Baldwin Wallace has life a little longer. Need to score 4 straight, however. So no room for error. As Colby Whiteside goes back to serve. Whiteside serve is good. Popped up by Vozenelik to Mosher to Hollebeck. This one up. Takes a bounce off the support beams on the roof and falls out of bounds. Last touch, Baldwin Wallace. CUC claims set 1, 25-20. So, quick look at the stats book before we head to the break. Kills leader is a tie between Michael Devlin as well as Tyler Hollebeck. Devlin for Baldwin Wallace, Hollebeck for the Cougars. Each have 5. Luke Vozenelik, however, right behind him with 4. Assist leader is on the Baldwin Wallace side of the net. Brandon Long continuing his great season. 9 assists. Trailing him by just 1 is Eli Mosher, the freshman phenom for the Cougars. Meanwhile, the Diggs leader, Aiden Kim Libero for the Yellow Jackets. He has 4, and then a couple players, Michael Beard of Baldwin Wallace, and then Vozenelik and Rosen on the Cougars all have 3. So that's how we got our set 1 result, 25-20 in favor of the Cougars. We'll take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network before we resume play with set number 2. About 30 seconds left before we kick off set 2 here in Geisman. Cougars took the first set 25-20 for the 1-0 lead in the match. Some of the other team stats from that hitting percentage, big disparity there, 250 in favor of CUC. Compared to Baldwin Wallace's .071. So Yellow Jackets going to need to get that number up and hope the Cougars cool down a little bit. The only other big disparity in numbers is service aces, 3-0 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Did little to stop the Cougars, though, from that set 1 victory, and putting that one in no man's land was Michael Devlin. So he takes sole lead of the kill category in today's match with 6. Now he gets set to serve. Serve is up and over, a fast one. David Vale's able to play it. Colby Campbell going up for the kill. Campbell, a defensive specialist on this team. Not the position defensive specialist, should have picked a different term, but known for his defense, gets the offense there. And a block up front. It spins out of bounds off the hands of Campbell and Vozenelik. Baldwin Wallace up 2-1 again. Similar to what we saw in the start of set one, as Reelman gets set to serve. It's a close contest. Baldwin Wallace took a couple of leads. This one's going to go up and down off the ceiling. Point CUC. CUC was then eventually able to pull away with that set one win late in the set. As Vozenelik gets set to serve once more. A little bit of a soft one. You could hear the frustration in Vozenelik's voice, but Colby Campbell up front getting some help from David Vales. The strong block. The Cougars take the lead, 3-2 now. Vozenelik serve. Aiden Kim falls over to get that one up. Michael Beard, very well placed attack, getting a hand on it was a falling Vozenelik, but he could do little to slow it down. Stenitz now. Rosen gets the first dig. Now David Vales, it's blocked, lands back on the Cougar side. They're able to play it. Baldwin Wallace back on the attack and sending it straight into the net was Reelman. That'll leave it for Colby Campbell to serve. Wearing number 3 in maroon. Cougars in their all maroon fits tonight with white lettering and white numbering and gold trim, I should say, and then the gold outline of the Concordia logo. Meanwhile, Baldwin Wallace in their all whites with yellow lettering and logos. Mosher. Hollebeck blocked up front. Michael Beard showing a little bit of surprise on that one. 6'2". Not all that tall by volleyball standards. Just got up for that one. Kill for the Cougars as that one goes off a Baldwin Wallace player and out. Cougars get another point there. That serve hits the top of the net. And finishing off the play is Baldwin Wallace. Tied up at 6 here. Another tight contest in the early goings of the set. Hitting percentages haven't changed too much. 86 for Baldwin Wallace, 273 for CUC. So both teams staying about the course they were on last set. Diving effort by Kim gets it to the back row with Beard. And Cougars back on the offensive. Vales, a little floater over. Beard, stopped by Moeller, popped up by Vales. Hollebeck sends a freebie over. Now the set, that one hits the net, dies down. CUC takes the lead. David Vales to serve now. Vales, his serve is from a distance. It gets there, however. Diving effort, Beard. Blocked up front, Moeller. Moshman, the freshman, getting it done on the front line. Cougars freshmen getting some love from their bench. 8-6 lead. And that serve just inside the lines, David Vales. And this Cougars run, put them up by 3. It's going to force a Baldwin Wallace timeout. Cougars up 9-6 here in set 2, up 1-0 in the match. And Baldwin Wallace on their heels calling a timeout. See what happens when we get back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Two, one. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Timeout ending from Baldwin Wallace. They find themselves trailing the Cougars by 3, 9-6 is the score. CUC on a little run here, 3-0 run since it was tied 6-all. Vales back to serve. You can't even see Vales on your screen when he starts his serve. So far back in the gym. Now Baldwin Wallace blocked up front. They're going to go at it again. Another block! Vozenelik Moeller. Vozenelik stands at 6'7", Moeller 6'5". You're not going to get much past that wall. Now the Cougars up by 4, continuing the run. Moeller, a single block. Unassisted, the freshman. 8th in the conference in blocks per set at .8, and he's showing off why here in set 2. Cougars, they're ranked 3rd nationally in blocks per set as a team. This frontline defense, an important thing to Coach Manos. The defense as a whole, as he helped develop defensive strategy while at Miami, Ohio. And it's really what's led to so much recent success for the Cougars, as yet another point goes the way of CUC. That's going to force another Baldwin Wallace timeout. We'll keep it here meanwhile. The Cougars up 12-6, a 6-0 scoring run. Talking about how dominant this CUC defense is. Ranked 5th in the conference in opponent hitting percentage at .91. Opponents against CUC. Just have a hard time getting things going. CUC ranked 1st in the conference in blocks and total digs. CUC currently at 5th. So Coach Manos coming into CUC taking care of business defensively, at least. And then we have players like Hollabeck and Luke Vozenelik. The offense usually takes care of itself, especially when you insert someone like Eli Mosher as the setter. So Baldwin Wallace back on the attack. How about another block up front? Luke Vozenelik right there. Make it a 7-0 scoring run for CUC. The train just won't stop. And another service. Serve for Vales turns into an ace. His second on this scoring run. Yeah, that other one, Baldwin Wallace called out. Spoiler, it wasn't out. Thrown into a Cougars point, and now it's a 14-6 Cougars lead. Beard. That floater, pancake by Rosen. No one else around to help him, so the Yellow Jackets finally back on the board. They're down by 7 still, 14-7. Whiteside to serve. Strong dig there by Vales. Play continues, and that one goes out. So Cougars get back on top quickly as Realman's attack goes out. 15 to serve 7, and coming in to do it is Chris Livesay, his first appearance of the night. Excuse me, I meant to say first appearance of the set, and Luke Vozenalik, that block hit Baldwin Wallace player in the face. Baldwin Wallace just having some difficulties elevating these attempts past Cougars' front line of defense. His Beard now sets up his fellow players. That one placed right in front of Vales. Little he can do about it. A rocket of a serve. Rosen, it hits the support beams. Cougars get it back. Too strong an attack from Vozenalik. The Yellow Jackets earn the point. 16-9 is the score now. Tip off a Yellow Jackets player goes out. Cougars increase the lead now.
Servers number 11, Eli Mosher.
Eli Mosher back to serve. On the season, the freshman. 11 service aces to his 28 errors, and it's hard to start telling the difference between this Cougars front line and a brick wall. The way they've been playing in this second set. They're up to 6 total blocks on the night. As that one hits the net and the pin, it looks like. Looks like it clipped it, so the Yellow Jackets hit point number 10 now.
Serving is number 16, Marquise Kelly.
Marquise Kelly to serve. That one right to Rosen. Mosher pops it up. Hollaback gets the kill. Tyler Hollaback gets kill number 7, ties Devlin for the match lead. So Hollaback has 7 kills. Vozenalik has 5 as he goes back to serve now. And yeah, it just shows how hopeful it is to have a killer duo on your offense. Yellow Jackets, Devlin's leading the way with 7 kills, but next up is Colby Whiteside with 3. As that serve goes over, and really the struggle has been to get Michael Beard going, second in the conference in kills per set, as that one finally gets past some blockers' hands. So Beard second in the conference in kills per set, and tonight he's only got 2. He's got a negative hitting percentage, negative .143. As Baldwin Wallace's hitting percentage as a team has taken a dive as a whole to .038. And that rocket bounces off the hands of Kelly, hits the ground, and now 20 set to serve 12. It's Colby Campbell back to do so. Gives the ball a good couple bounces. Hits the top of the net. Beard plays it. He's going to go for the kill now. Sends it out of bounds. Point 21 to CUC. Head coach of Baldwin Wallace, Kyle Mars, already used both of his timeouts earlier in the set, so his team's stuck playing to the conclusion of the set unless the timeout is called by Coach Manos. Dig there. Bad bounce off the speaker, but Moeller reads it perfectly. And Beard gets kill number 3 on the night. So Michael Beard gets going a little. Number 9, Evan Herbst, sophomore setter out of Hamburg, New York. Awkward attempt there by CUC. So a couple points in a row now for the Yellow Jackets. Mozenelik to Mosher. Moeller goes for the kill. Good block up front. Mosher again. Moeller again. And now he finishes the play off. Cougars within 3. Might be starting to see the fatigue start to set in here for Baldwin Wallace, as Cougars get point number 23 off a tip. Baldwin Wallace just finished playing Augustana in a 5-set battle before, just about 40 minutes before taking on the Cougars. So Baldwin Wallace coming into it a little fatigued as that block leads to set point. Meanwhile, Cougars plenty of time off since they opened up play at 2:30 today against Augustana. And getting set point are the Cougars. And they take set 2 in dominating fashion, 25-14.
Concordia takes a 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 match.
This match was once tied. This set was once tied 6-6, and the Cougars, they go on a 19-8 run to finish things off. Dominating fashion. Cougars claim set 2, take a big 2-0 set lead in the match. And they're going to see if they can finish off the maroon and gold try with victory number 2 on the day. Meanwhile, Baldwin Wallace looking to defeat their second straight loss. Stick around on the Cougar Sports Network to see what happens as we take a quick break. Cougar Sports Network here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago. Before we get into what happened in set 2 between the Cougars and Yellow Jackets, I want to say a quick thanks to everyone making this production possible. Maya Martin up here with me working the production truck down at the scores table. Sydney Lloyd and Natalie Gallardo. And then Julia Beers Helping out with stats and spotting, we're under direction of Claire Hickey, and then Sydney Plaskislaher and our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. Plaskislaher and McLeod both down in Florida right now with our softball and baseball teams respectively as they participate in some of the spring game activities down there. Softball coming back this Saturday. Meanwhile, baseball coming back on Sunday as they prepare to kick off the real heart of the schedule with some regional play. Baseball coming off a NAC tournament appearance last season. Failed to win a game in that tournament, but coming back looking hungrier than ever. Meanwhile, softball looking to return to the playoffs for the first time since 2018. So should be a fun season of spring sports here at CUC. Men's volleyball playing some extremely good volleyball as of late. Of course, you have both men's and women's lacrosse going on as well. And a big block starts things off here in set 3. Emphatic fashion from the Yellow Jackets. Bringing some much-needed energy into Geisman. That team looked just down on themselves after that big CUC run to end set 2. Ever since that 6-6 tie, Baldwin Wallace really struggled to get back into it in any sense. They didn't really get back into it. Their hitting percentage still in the negatives. Negative 068, though that was before the air. Meanwhile, the Cougars sit at 260. Another noticeable numbers, really two. Blocks 9-2 right now in favor of CUC. Meanwhile, attack errors 22-7 in favor of Baldwin Wallace. That's a stat you don't want to be the leader of. So between Baldwin Wallace's consistent errors and then the dominance of CUC's front line of defense, it's easy to see why CUC's up 2-1 in the 2-0 in the match. However, in the set, Baldwin Wallace 3-1 now. They've come out here energized and fired up in set number 3, fighting for their match lives, trying to avoid going 0-2 in the maroon and gold triangular after losing their first match of the day a little over an hour ago. 5-set loss to Augustana College.
Service number 4, Luke Vozenelik.
Luke Vozenelik back to serve. Two serving 3. Vozenelik. Aiden Kim. Here's the serve. Back row attack from Beard goes nowhere. David Vales, that hits a couple blockers, dies down. Point CUC. I believe head coach Kyle Mars wanting to claim it hit the pin on the net. He's talking to the official next to the scores table, and the official isn't giving him any kind of room to argue. And now back to serve is Vozenelik once again. Tied up here in set 3, 3-3. Baldwin Wallace coming out looking fired up. Probably the most energetic of the match, besides maybe the very beginning, as that one falls in no man's land. 4 serving 3 now. Going back to do it is Whiteside. Whiteside. Service error. We're tied up once again, 4-4. Colby Campbell to serve now. And a service error traded there with Campbell. So back-to-back service errors from each squad.
Service number 6, Mazzoni. Point, Cougar.
And service error, so 3 straight service errors, 2 from the Yellow Jackets, 1 from Colby Campbell on the Cougars. And that's led us to a 5-5 game. First to 20 now. Poked over the net. Doesn't go anywhere. Vozenalik finishes it off with the kill.
Vozenalik point, Cougar.
Back to serve now is Hollebeck. Blocked up front, but goes out of bounds.
Yellow Jacket.
And we're tied up again at 6 now.
Serving is number 10, Michael Devlin.
Michael Devlin. Kills leader in the match with 9. However, the next closest teammate of his is a trio of Michael Beard, Colby Whiteside, and Josh Steinitz with 3 kills each. So Devlin having himself a nice game, but not getting the support he needs from his teammates. You know, Vozenalik and Hollebeck have combined for 15 total. As that error goes into the net off the hand of Mazzoni. And David Vales now to serve. 6-7. 7-6, excuse me. Goes out of play. 8-6 now in favor of CUC. This is where they really started to pull away in set 2. It was a 6-6 set until CUC scored 19 of the last 27 points. And that attack goes into the net as well. You could see Kyle Mars, head coach of Baldwin Wallace, on the bench, eyeing the ref, eyeing the scoreboard. Safe to assume if this run continues for CUC, he might be calling a timeout as his team gets back on the right side of things. Service error on part of the Cougars. Josh Steinitz to serve now. Vozenalik, strong attack. Nice play there by Devlin to try and keep it alive. His team not able to respond quick enough.
Cougars in serve with 10, Yellow Jackets 7.
And now it is 10 serving 7. Livesey back in to do so. And a kill up front for Whiteside. Hard to stop it when he's that close to the net. And now Evan Herbst to serve. Herbst, a sophomore, Hamburg, New York native. Vozenalik takes out Kim with that strike. Vozenalik's one of those players you don't want to be on the wrong side of an attempt of his when he really winds up for it, as he did there. Kim got knocked down by it. Baldwin Wallace needs to find a way to recover. Down by 3. Mosher, Vales, Kim pops it up. Another pop up there. Beard off the front row blockers. Mosher now to Hollebeck. Off the blockers' hands and down. Drifting away from the net was Whiteside. And there's the Baldwin Wallace timeout called by Coach Mars. Yellow Jackets trail the Cougars by 4. CUC up 12-8. Take a break here at the Cougars Sports Network, but don't go anywhere. Set 3 hitting the midway point. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, CUC up on the visiting Baldwin Wallace University 12-8. So I think you really are starting to see the fatigue on the Baldwin Wallace roster. One of their players eating a banana, trying to just stay game ready. This will be set number 8 in a row Baldwin Wallace has played. About a 40-minute break in between their 5-set loss to Augustana, and then they're now in set 3 against CUC. So, it's such a physical game like volleyball, physically active game, I should say, like volleyball. It's easy to get dehydrated, lose your energy, especially for some of these starters who've been on the court since the beginning of that Augustana game. They now trail the Cougars by 5, 13-8. Cougars looking to avenge a 3-2 loss at the hands of Baldwin Wallace earlier in the season back in February. That ball goes out of play. Mosher. Serve is over. Absolute wallop on the ball from Michael Devlin. It goes out of play, though. And that's going to force another timeout by Kyle Mars. A quick back-to-back there. We saw a similar strategy in set 2 when things were getting out of hand for Baldwin Wallace. He called back-to-back timeouts, or timeouts close to each other, let's say. And the flip side of that was when that run didn't slow down and CUC's momentum just kept piling on. Coach Mars didn't have another timeout to use later in the set. But in this set, everything going the way of the Cougar. Game totals. Blocks still in favor of the Cougars, 9-3. Attack errors still a big lead by Baldwin Wallace. 26 errors compared to the Cougars, only 8. Meanwhile, hitting percentages 302 for CUC to negative .082 in favor of, in Baldwin Wallace's case. So this is a CUC team who, granted, they have 10 less attacks than Baldwin Wallace, but this is a Baldwin Wallace team who's struggling to play good, clean volleyball right now, facing a Cougars team who's playing some above-average volleyball, especially defensively, and that's why we're seeing such big scoring runs gone on by CUC. As Baldwin Wallace tries to get one back there, they can't. Here's Vozenelik, pins the corner. Diving Kim, not able to get there. Bothell, Washington native Kim is, 5'10" freshman. Now he pops it up. Well-placed attack there by Colby Whiteside. Cougars have done a really nice job throughout this entire match of just staying composed, staying ready. Even when things go the way of Baldwin Wallace, the Cougars don't lose their cool. A trait evident in Coach Manos. Rarely do you see him show any kind of intense emotion on the sideline. Clearly has fun with his players, as he likes to crack a smile every once in a while. But not one of those coaches who wears his emotion on his sleeves. And it's clearly translating to his group of players in all the right ways as well, as they're up 17-10 now, trying to shut down Baldwin Wallace for the 3-0 match win. A service error from Whiteside brings the Cougars 1 point closer.
In the serve for the Cougars, number 14, Deontay
Deontay Garcia to serve. Blocked up front, goes out of bounds though, so point Baldwin Wallace.
Server is number 6,
Nick Mazzoni into serve out of Springboro. Illinois native.
Ace for Mazzoni, point. Cougar.
A loud
Point Yellow
attempt at a save there by Vales. Popped the ball up and it hit one of the air ducts here in Geisman, so add another dent to the exposed ducts. Mosher to Moeller. Moeller's attempt goes out of bounds.
Point Yellow Jackets.
And the Yellow Jackets trying to get something going here now. Scored three straight after the Moeller attacking error, and that's been the trend of the night for Baldwin Wallace. They get something going, trying to claw their way back in, and then an attack error, or in this case a service error, just takes them one step back. It's Beard now. That eventually leads to the little push over by Steinitz. Beard's absence from the stat sheet, or lack of eye-popping stats, maybe the better way to put it, might be one of the stories of the night for Baldwin Wallace. Only 3 kills for the man who's second in the conference, in their conference in kills per set, as the Cougars get a point there.
Serve was 20, Yellow Jackets 14. Server is number 7, David Vale.
If you look at Beards' kill log, last time he recorded single-digit kills was a 3-set victory over Penn State Altoona on February 25th. He had 9 then. But at this point, he's looking at his lowest kill count since February 9th, a 3-0 win over Carlo, where he had 3 kills. He now has 4. Vozenelik, sends it over. Beard trying to get number 5. David Vales is going to make sure that doesn't happen. Hollebeck now hits the net.
Point Yellow Jackets.
Coach Manos has a word with the ladder official. He saw something on Baldwin Wallace's side of things that which the officials caught wind of. Is now all of a sudden the Yellow Jackets down by just 4. Make that 5 though. That Vozenelik rocket off the hands of Mazzoni and into the stands behind the Yellow Jackets bench. Cougars now up 5 on the Yellow Jackets, down 4 away from match point. They're trying to finish off Baldwin Wallace in just 3 quick sets here. And right into the net goes Devlin's attempt. Still a kill leader for his squad with 11, but Vozenelik has taken control of the match with 13. Colby Campbell, Beard, and Whiteside gets himself another kill. He's putting together a nice game now as he's got 6. Brings his team within 5, 22-17. Blake Rosen checks in. Vozenelik. Campbell with a solo block and a good recovery there by Mazzoni. That ball looked destined to hit the ground. Instead, he just pops it over the net. Cougars get the point. Yellow Jackets get the point. 22-18 is the score now. Still in favor of CUC. Mosher flips it back to Vozenelik. Yellow Jackets still alive. Blocked up front, Mosher and Campbell.
Point Cougar.
23-18.
Number 11, Eli Mosher.
And now Mosher back to serve. His team just 2 away from claiming the match. Diving play there, still going. Beard cannot get kill number 5. Hallbeck, though, he's going to get kill number 9. And all of a sudden, the Cougars 1 away from sweeping Baldwin Wallace. And going 2-0 in the maroon and gold triangular, beating Augustana 3-2 earlier. Could be the final point for CUC. Whiteside, and violation called on Baldwin Wallace. The 4-touch rule gets him, and that'll do it. So maybe not the way the Yellow Jackets wanted to go down, but the official makes the final call, and CUC takes the match 3-0. They avenge their February 4th loss at Baldwin Wallace. That was a 3-2 loss to the Yellow Jackets, and the Cougars strike back here in Geisman, get the sweep. Sweep number 4 on the year for CUC. And they conclude a successful day here at the Maroon and Gold Triangular. Looking at the stat book one final time. Kills leader of the match, Luke Vozenelik with 13. Devlin led all Yellow Jackets with 11. Tyler Hallbeck had 9 in third. The assist leader, Eli Mosher, had 24. Meanwhile, Brandon Long had just 13, low by his usual excellent standards. And then the digs leader found on the Baldwin Wallace side of things with Michael Beard, who had 8. So the Cougars back in action this Friday as they welcome St. Norbert College to River Forest as they kick off really the heart of NAC play. Only one more non-conference contest for the Cougars before the end of the regular season. And it all starts this Friday, St. Norbert College here in Geisman. 7 p.m. start time. You can find that live stream right here on CUC Sports on YouTube page. But for now, that concludes tonight's presentation of CUC Athletics. I want to say one more thanks to everyone making it possible. Amaya Martin up here producing. Cindy Lloyd and Natalie Gallardo down at the scores table. Julia Beers helps spot and stat. We're under the direction of Claire Hickey, Sydney Palacios-Slaher, and our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. One more time, Cougars take down Baldwin Wallace University 3-0. Walk away from the maroon and gold triangular 2-0 on the day. So a successful day of CUC athletics here in River Forest. But until next time, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.